Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be joined by reigning Masters champion Jon Rahm here in the media centre at the BMW PGA Championship. Jon, great season so far, and you come to a venue where you've had some great performances in the past. Just how much are you looking forward to this week?
This week is always one I look forward to. I've played good in the past. Played twice, 2 second places. Had a chance to win in 19, I believe, and last year I had a far chance and almost made it a reality. But looking forward to it. It's a great golf course, great week. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a tournament in a week that deserves a lot more credit than what he gets.
Thanks, Jon. We'll go straight to questions, please. Start with Swanee.
Hi, Jon. Just something you alluded to there. There's obviously a lot of talk about Rome and the Ryder Cup. Is it nice to have this size of event just to focus the mind, and also how much of it is 50-50 prep and the seriousness of this week?
Well, it's about as good a prep as you can get, right? It's a world-class stage, so it's definitely a good week to perform well. Doesn't mean really anything towards the Ryder Cup, right? Playing good here doesn't mean you're going to perform well there, but if you're working on some things, it's definitely the right type of pressure to put it to the test. Great golf course, especially with the size of the rough and how firm the greens are. It's going to be much tougher than in the past, so looking forward to it.
Alex, please.
I don't know how much you had been in Marco Simone before this week, but could you just talk about that golf course, one, and then could you also talk about Rory was just here suggesting that everybody is pretty much on an equal footing as all 12 of you guys are. There's no hierarchy. Could you just talk about that in regards to a Ryder Cup?
So when it comes to the golf course, I've only played once. Well, we played them 18 holes, that's it. So I would say it's a couple of us that don't have nearly as much experience as most of the team, right? Most of them have competed there, they've won the tournament, so very, very comfortable with the team. And I agree with what Rory said. You have players that have more experience, but there's no hierarchy. On that team, we're all the same. Man, 12 for one and 1 for all. That's kind of how it is. We're all there to accomplish the same goal. We're all part of the same team, and there's no what you've done before and what you might do after that week doesn't matter at all.
Martin, please.
Jon, both Shane and Rory have commented on the rough being pretty penal at Marco Simone. Can you talk a little bit about that, and how did you encounter the rough?
I don't think I can add much more to what they've said. It's penal. It's difficult. You have to put the ball in the fairway. That's not the longest golf course, right? So it's going to make you think a little bit if they keep it that way, yeah.
Penal to the extent that balls were being lost on Monday?
Well, so you wouldn't lose it on the main rough, is what you can call the native area. That's still pretty close to the fairway where there's a very small chance of finding it. And if you find it, I don't see any of us having a chance to get it out. Yeah, but it's not that different to what France and Golf National could present, right? Is that narrow? Is that challenging?
How do you see your role in this Ryder Cup team?
The same as every other Ryder Cup, trying to get as many points as I can and hopefully get the win. Like I said, we're all equal, so I can just talk to the rookies if they need any advice and give them how I handled my first Ryder Cup and experiences. But we have so many people that can. When you have a captain like Luke, who's been very successful in Ryder Cups, a vice captain like Chema, who has more experiences and stories than most of us combined, I think there's very little I can say to make a big impact. Just be a good teammate. That's all I can do. Try to make him be as comfortable as possible.
John Hopkins, please.
Jon, there's a general feeling that the balance in terms of winning the Ryder Cup has changed slightly in the past few months, from it being perhaps the Americans' favourites to now somewhat more even, and possibly even the Europeans' favourites. Do you agree with that change, and why has it happened, do you think?
I guess there's been quite a bit of success from members of Team Europe the last few months individually, so I think it's attributed to that. But who's favored and who's not really doesn't matter. As players, we can't get caught up on that, right? So I really can't tell you if it's right or wrong. It's as it comes to us, I would say it's almost inconsequential, really. It only means that to the public's eye, European team has been playing good golf, which obviously is a good thing.
There's no feeling of one side being favourites when you were together?
It doesn't matter. I don't think you should be going to a match thinking you're a favorite and get a little bit too confident. And you also don't want to be going thinking that you're a massive underdog, thinking you don't have a chance, right? We have an extremely talented team, and all of us are plenty talented enough to win our matches. Who's favored or who's not, it really doesn't matter.
Thanks, John. Go to Phil, please.
John, you mentioned obviously you've only played here twice, finished runner-up twice. Firstly, why does your game suit this course so much, or vice versa? And secondly, Rory's got quite a good lead on you in the race to Dubai. How keen are you to try and catch him up? And I presume you've only got a few events left this year, but how keen would you be to try and catch him?
Oh, you're asking too far in advance already. Well, hopefully I can get a win here and get a little closer. Obviously, I would like to win the race to Dubai again. When it comes to the golf course, we always hear that, like, how does my game or your game or one's game suit a golf course? I think that's a wrong way of looking at it. As a player, it's my job to adjust to a golf course. So it's how good a job can I do myself to play my best golf here. And luckily, I've done a good job in the past. It's mainly because it's obviously favors ball striking, especially in a week like this where it's a little bit firmer, right? You have to attack the greens from the fairway, and obviously the farther you hit it, the better of a chance you're going to have as well, right? So I've done a good job at adapting myself. Maybe last year I did a good job on the last 10 holes. Hopefully I can start playing good golf from the first hole this week. But it's just an enjoyable course, right? I think it's a good design. It's a tough test, and you have to go out there and play good golf.
And sorry, how high up does that round of 62 rate, considering it was a 62 with a bogey, if I remember right?
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate because that that second putt, I hit it where I wanted, I just misread it. I mean, it's about as good a stretch of 10 holes I've ever had in my life, yeah. The final round in Maui this past year, because I won, also having a bogey, but because I ended up with the win, might have a bit more of more importance to me because I won the event. But the way I finished when I needed to, and birdie in 16, 17, and eagle in 18 was something I was really proud of, and something that started the good run I went on afterwards. So it's really high up there. It's always difficult to rank them, but obviously I would say it has to be in the top 5.
Go to Neil, please.
Hey, John. Ludwig's obviously got a lot of attention, a lot of praise over the last week, months. I just wondered, do you think there's any risk of him being built up too much and people expecting too much from him so soon?
When you're creating that kind of reaction, it's a good thing because clearly people see the potential you have. He just turned professional and he's played good enough to catch the attention of the best players in the world and the media, and play good when he had to win. I mean, coming from behind and making 4 birdies in a row to take the lead and win the tournament, it is not easy. So clearly he's showing it. He's got a great potential. So the only thing that matters is what's going on in his head, really, right? And a lot of times as players, I feel like we put a lot more pressure on ourselves than the media can put on us. So I wouldn't know how to quite answer that question, but he definitely has the talent to back it up.
Thanks, Neil. Kev, please.
Hi, John. The makeup of the vice captains has been influenced to a degree by the division that we've just seen in golf. It seems that now we're past the worst of it. So going forward, would you like to see some of those old guys, some of the great players who represented Europe and scored many points, Sergio I'm thinking of in particular, back in the fold as a vice captain? Would that be something that you would welcome? And is Sergio someone that you would lean on ordinarily as a Spaniard, with his obviously cultural connections at this period, in the Ryder Cup period? If he was involved, would you be leaning on him particularly as a Spaniard, or would that not be an issue?
I think it would be really stupid of anybody not to lean on Sergio Garcia's experience in the Ryder Cup. I mean, he is the best player Europe's ever had, most amount of points, and has shown it time and time again. So if he were able to be a vice captain, I absolutely would lean on him. Same as we're going to lean on Ollie this coming Ryder Cup, right? When it comes to the game and all those players being able to be back, it's been a difficult time. Obviously, things have changed a little bit. I wouldn't know how to answer because we're going to have to see if it's possible or not, right? I would like to see it, but unfortunately, we've seen some of those players give up the European Tour status where that's no longer a possibility. So I would like to see it, but we don't know what the future holds, right? I think with this agreement or this possible union between the PGA Tour, DP World, and PIF might change things a little bit. So until then, it's hard to really give you an answer, right?
Can you pass the mic down, please, Kev?
Hey, John. Yourself, Rory, and Victor, now 3 of the top 4 in the world. I just wondered your thoughts on how top-heavy now this European side is, and whether you can compare that to past generations, that you can match up to anything the Americans can put together.
I think we can always match up. I mean, how many times have we heard that the American team is on paper a lot better, and Europe has been able to win, right? So it's match play again. It's beating the person you have in front of you that day, right? So again, what you've done or you might do in the future matters very little, right? It's nice that Victor is playing really good golf lately. I've been playing great this year, and so has Rory. It's great that we have higher ranking on average, but not that should make it.
And
It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be affecting the way we think about it.
Sure. And you're going to be playing with Nikolai and Terrell. What do you think of those games?
What'd you say, sorry?
You're playing with Nikolai and Terrell this week.
Well, you know more than I do.
Yeah.
In the draw.
This week?
The draw, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I thought you meant next week. How do you know? You know more than I do. No, this week, yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of their games, and do you think this is a good way to sort of see if the chemistry is there for Rome?
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of Nikolai. The little bit I've seen, he's quite an impressive ball striker. I was very impressed for a 21-year-old how talented he is to play this game. He's been on tour a few years, and he's got a lot of potential. And Terrell, I mean, what to say about him? He's accomplished a lot already. He's somebody that can perform in any kind of golf course, in any kind of conditions, and perform at the biggest stages, right? Every time he's near the lead, he always tends to perform well under pressure, right? This little moment that he's shown it. I mean, that chip in on Turkey during the playoff to keep it going, the final round of the Players, was it this year? That shot hit on 18 to make birdie and post, I don't know if it was 64, 63, 65 on that Hurricane was absolutely impressive, and many more of the amazing wins he's accomplished. So he's somebody that has the character to make the putt when he needs to putt, right? He did it last Ryder Cup in Whistling, making birdie on 18 when he needed to make it. He's obviously somebody with a ton of potential.
Any more questions for John? John, thank you for your time. Have a great week.
Thank you.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.